Hey YouTube, what's happening? Hope you're all having a wonderful Monday. Chris here. I want to bring you an update on something I was seeing for LTC BTC. So remember, this isn't the USD pair, but there's something very important that's happening that I wanted to show you. And remember, on all these, I'm not your financial advisor. You make up your own decisions on what you're going to do. I'm just going to point out the upside and the downside to you, and also talk about the sideways a little bit when it's necessary. So what we're looking for today, guys, what I'm seeing, okay, right now, the close for today is going to be so very important. And the reason for that, you know how I've been so huge on the 20 EMA in green. All right. We have been up above it clearly, where we have not had a close, a real body. We've wicked below it a few times, but we have not closed below it since all the way back here. And I believe it was around February 7th or 8th. So guys, we would probably take it from about right in this area right in here. So January 27th. All right, so pay attention to that we have been up above this. Now today, look where this candle is, and what we're waiting for is the close today. So we have not closed yet. Here's your time right down here, guys. So at 24, it's going to close, and that's where we're at right now. So what we need to do is pay very close attention to see if we close up above that again, so we can have another shot at coming up here and trying to get over these tops right here, or if we're going to close below it. And if we close below it, we definitely could fall pretty hard pretty fast, guys. So just be aware of that, because what we would look to for support, obviously there's a little support right in here off the real bodies we look for around that 0.01414. After that, though, I would be looking down to this 50 moving average to see if we find support off that, see if we get a bounce off that so that we can move further to the upside. But this is something I really want you to pay attention to, because this 20 EMA has been so consistent throughout this move. And look at this. I mean, it has been so consistent even throughout this entire bear market. If we zoom out a little bit, look at how strong it was for overhead resistance, guys. Look at this. Price just rode it. Every time we'd come up to it here, we got up above it, we tweezer topped, got pushed back down, and then every time we would hit it and we'd fall. Look at these falls, guys. Wicked up to it. We fell over and over and over. Then we finally got back up above it as we formed this rounded bottom here. And now today we actually have a potential of closing below it. So really keep that in mind. And that's going to, because guys, it's going to play a factor, because we've been getting bounces off that. So if we don't get a bounce off that and we get a candle close below that, then we'll have to start looking at these lower levels to see if we can find nice support so we can continue this uptrend. And that's just continuing the health of the uptrend, guys. We lose this, in my opinion, it'd just be a nice healthy pullback or throwback to where we could get a nice bounce off the 50, or even come down here off this trend line and test that and get a nice strong bounce on some volume. That would be a wonderful thing. It'd be a good thing. It'd be healthy for Litecoin. So keep that in mind. And also throughout this move, guys, we have had this lower volume profile. I'm sorry, I was moving the charts around, so my trend line was a little off there. It'll move with that. But as you can see, this volume has been trending down as price is going up. And I know this volume profile, everything's manipulated in cryptocurrency, guys, but I can only go off of, when I'm trading or charting, what it's showing me here, and it's showing me decreasing volume with a rising price. We have the potential of losing this 20 EMA right now that we want to keep in mind. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go to our oscillators and see what those are looking like. And I have not checked these out yet, guys. I wanted to do them with you so I could have a fresh set of eyes. I haven't looked at LTC BTC today. So let's, hold on a second, let me pull a couple indicators off here. Let's get the 100 off, guys. Let's do this. Alright, so that actually gave us 2. I'm sorry about that. Alright, so price is moving up, and then take a look at this RSI, guys. And what I would do here, I would draw this trend line just like that. And for me, we're not most likely going to start moving back up until we break this trend line. Now, if we break that trend line, then we could really make a nice aggressive move to the upside. For those trend line breaks on the RSI, they're very significant, but right now we're just trending down, and what we're actually looking for is to see if on the RSI we can find support right around this area here. So this would be my area for support. So we're actually coming right up on it. Now if we lose that, guys, and we break below it, then we could fall really far really fast. You see this, how it ran up hard? That means we can also drop fast as well. So you want to pay very close attention to that, because right now this is almost looking like a little descending triangle pattern. You're having these lower highs and you're more so having this flat bottom. We're going to see where this lands right here. And as you know, classical technical, chart patterns and all that, you're going to break in a descending triangle, 70% to the downside, about 30% to the upside. All right. Next one we're going to look at is the stock. Want to see what's happening with the stock RSI? All right, so the stock RSI, and see, this is why you go through different ones, guys, so you can get a different perspective. Do you see on this stock RSI, we're down here low, and it's looking like the buying area where you would actually want to buy right there. So in terms of the stock RSI on the day, we're pretty low there. Now, if you go out to the week, though, and this is what I've been looking at on the stock, it looks like we have a triple top that's taking place, and we're pinned out there almost. We're at 89 and 94, so we're up pretty high right now. So I'm keeping my eye on that. The vast differences between the week and the day, sometimes it's amazing, guys. Next thing I want to show you here, we're going to go to the Bollinger Bands and see if we're overextended. And this is how I do things, guys. I just go through these, and then I'll start marking stuff down. And take a look at this. I'm sorry about that. Do you see this here, guys? We're still at the very top of that band right there, and that's on the 1 week. Remember, right now we're on the 1 week. So now if we go into the 1 day, let's see where we're at. It's 1 day, we're getting tighter, and that tightness is showing that either a break to that upside to challenge these wicks again right here is either going to happen, or we're going to start finally breaking to that downside a little bit and cooling down just a little bit. So, you know, guys, these are the things that I'm looking at for Litecoin, and I'm paying very close attention to, and I think they're important. You know, when you lose this 20 EMA and you've had that type of support for that long, and you get a candle close below it, that means something, at least in my book, from what I've read. And as you can see this candle, you know how I love going into the candles. Take a look, guys. Right here's where we're at. Now, let's keep our eye on that, and what we're going to do, we're going to track it down to the 16-hour, and we're just going to go through the candles and see what they look like. 12-hour. So here it looked like we got pushed down, and we had that little almost bear flag or a little reaction, then we fell down again. Let's go to our 6. A little bit right there. So that might be another one of these little reactions here. And you can see the trend line that I have drawn. So if we break to the upside out of this trend line with good volume, then most likely we'll be moving to the upside right there. So I'm keeping my eye on that, or we're going to see rejection off that. Let's go to the 4-hour. All right, so on the 4-hour, do you see what we're seeing here? We had a little doji put in, but it wasn't put on a ton of volume, and now we're getting a little follow through. So we're going to be testing this trend line, and we're going to see if we bounce off it and fall back down, or if we're actually going to get up here and maybe test this 20 EMA. And do you see how we lost this 20 EMA? Guys, 1 second here. I have my laptop laying flat on my desk. I'm going to put something to prop it up. The fan's turning on me here. I just wanted to do a quick video for y'all. So I ran in here. All right. So hopefully that calms it down a little bit. I apologize for that. So what we're seeing here, guys, is that doji, and now we're getting a little bit of follow through, but we're going to have to see where this candle closes. Do you see here how it looked like we were getting some follow through, but we wicked out of it, and then we actually just fell back down? And that's what happened. You're seeing these lower highs that have been being put in and lower lows that have been being put in. So now we're just going to have to pay attention to this doji. Typically, guys, when you break out of these trend lines, if it's on some good volume, you can move up pretty high, but we are having that death cross of that 20 EMA over top of that 50 moving average, and that's on the 4-hour chart. So what I also like to do is to back out like that, guys, and look to see when we lost it. Like, did we lose it on the 1 hour? You can see the 20 EMA now is acting as overhead resistance. You see, I'm just taking you through things, guys, because I want to teach you something here, that these, as you can see, it's been a very strong overhead resistance. So pay close attention to that. Now we're going to have to see what this candle bar will do with this, but now they're acting as overhead resistance as before they were acting as support. So let's back it back out, and let's see. So we have the 20 overhead on the 4-hour. Let's see if we have the 20 overhead on the 8. Okay, so we have a death cross right here. You see that taking place? Let's go out to the 12. Now it looks like this wants to happen, guys. You see this 20 wanting to come over that 50. We're going to have to see what happens. But those are overhead now. And then we go to the 1 day. And you can see where we're at. So that's how I like to do things, guys. And it looks like most likely today we could get a close that's below that. So we're going to have to see how the market responds to that. Could it be a fake out and we move higher tomorrow? Absolutely. Anything's possible in this space, guys. But, you know, even back here, if you take a look at this, this looked like a triple top pattern. So you had this here, then you had the head, and then you had the right shoulder. So it was kind of that left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and you even had more volume on the left here. But we broke to the upside. when a lot of times you would think that was kind of your triple top there and we may fall over, but we found support off that 20 EMA and we kept moving higher, just like right here. Same thing could happen. We come up here, kind of have that triple top, and then we move up again. Everything's possible in this game, guys. Anything is possible. So pay very close attention to that. Do your studying. If you learn anything from this, guys, leave it down low. I can't emphasize enough the power of moving averages. Moving averages in this game, they're crucial. You can see even when we gap away, like here, guys, how we gapped away from this 20 and you have all this space in here, we eventually pulled right back onto it. And it's funny how those things work, and that's why we could definitely pull back onto this 50. That's a possibility, and see if we get a bounce off it. You know, it's for the health of Litecoin. So, guys, that's what I'm looking at. Just wanted to bring it to each and every one of you. God bless you guys. We're down 1.15% right now. Take care.